We are live. We're back. I miss you guys. I know it's been a minute, but we're back. Hope everybody is having a great Friday evening, wherever you are. And I thought I'd come back and take a look at a couple of things. I was running over this case the last week or two, taking some new notes, jotting down some new thoughts. And I had came across something that I'm going to be getting into and talking about tonight. When I get there, then I'll tell you. But other than that, hey, what's everybody up to tonight? Thank you for joining me. Those of you who are brand new to my channel, welcome. Hopefully you like what you see, and if you do, please decide to subscribe. Working on a new goal, trying to get to that 12,000 mark. It's another milestone. And you grow gradually, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Much love to everybody. Let's see who we got in the house. Wow, well, we got Miss Justice in the house. That's in blue. Moderating tonight's live with John Q, live from New York. Much love to you, Miss Justice. Always here. Miss Carol Smith is always here too. She'll pop up. Definitely. Miss Tamika Ward is in the building. Reggie 1965 is in the building. Welcome, Reggie. Wow, Destiny Nyla is in the building. Welcome. Flamingo Lisa is in the building. Welcome, Flamingo. Flamingo, that name, Flamingo, reminds me of Las Vegas for some strange reason. But welcome. Squeak is in the building. Nikki Lynn is in the building. Just Me Sunshine is in the building. Much love to you guys. In the building. Well, welcome. Marty Smith is in the building. Amy Conway is in the building. Robin B is in the building. Holly Irish is in the building. Wow. Okay. Craft and True Crime, aka Jacqueline, is in the building. Yes, it's been a little bit. You know me, I don't go live all the time. I can't do the everyday thing because I got other things that are important to do. But when I do come live, you know I got something to say. You know I got something to say, but I miss you guys. Hopefully everybody's in good health. Had a great summer. Closing out summer already. Wow. Here we go into fall. And I believe we're going to get into some mess, as we do. You know how it is. Bored people like to make noise. Listening from Costa Rica, Amy Conway. Okay, Costa Rica. Hopefully the weather's good over there. Galuzzi or yeah, Galuzzi. Or it could be Galazzi. Z is in the building. Anna Elizabeth is in the building. Seven True is in the building. Robin York Groom is in the building. Sabrina Marshall is in the building. Nana P is in the building. Miss Sunny, Florida. Hopefully the FL is Florida, is in the building. Hopefully that's what that says. Toad Kissin' Queen is in the building from Oklahoma. Welcome. Okay, yeah, shout out where you're from. Because I've noticed my lives have been going places I haven't seen in a good while. The Netherlands and Australia. And I'm like, wait a minute. People stay up that late? Janelle Silver is in the building. Amy Conway is in the building. She said, let me go back out and come back in. And hopefully I'm coming in crystal clear. I had a couple of adjustments I had to make to my StreamYard. So hopefully we don't get any lag and all that other nonsense. You know how StreamYard and YouTube play funny games when it comes to content creation on here. They've been tightening up the censorship rules. We got to be careful what we say. We got to be careful what we show. We got to be careful what we think. I mean, our time is changing, and not for the better either. Opal Sisk is in the building. Carol loves embroidery and crime shows. Welcome, Carol. Welcome, welcome, wherever y'all are coming from. Sunset Gazing is in the building. Nisi Marie, I love you too, is in the building. I love how you break down everything. Well, thank you. I try. It's not easy, but I try. Oh, brown-eyed girl, how you doing? Brown-eyed girl, always. Anytime I see her in a chat room, she always waves and says hello. Talk about people just knowing a little bit about you goes a long way, especially when it's out of love and respect. Like we have here on my channel anyway. We don't get into no mess. We don't do it. Shankrock, my brother, is in the building. Much love to you, Shankrock. Long time no see. I know you've been holding it down on your channel, covering a lot of good stuff. I have to come back and do some lives on what's been going on politically as well. I don't like what's happening, still at the borders and immigrants, illegal immigrants, that is, undocumented coming into the country. They're still flooding this country, and a lot's going to change because we're coming down to a certain point within the next couple of months called an election, and I think it's going to be very crazy, folks. I think we're going to see our country change in the blink of an eye. There's been a lot of chatter out there. So we've got Brown-Eyed Girl from Ohio. But welcome, Shankrock. I know you're holding it down over there. I like some of the things that you've been talking about on your channel. Just Me Sunshine here from Jersey is in the building. Seven True is from California. Okay, we got Proud for Mom from Canada. Nisi Marie, Indiana, the Hoosier State. Yeah, definitely. Jill, hello from Sweden. Look at that. Sweden. Hope Floats from South Carolina. Charlene McPike from Dallas, Texas. Welcome, Country Guy. Texas, here you're clear. Okay, good. AK-47. It's been a while, I know. I've been listening to you because you got a great voice. How are you doing? Well, I'm doing good. AG is in the building from Indiana. Wow, AP, good evening. We got, no. Oh, it's OU and it's Greek. Oh, okay, Faye. It's well, I gotta learn some Greek from you, Faye. Hopefully you'll stick around and subscribe. Teach me a different language. And I know, my goodness, one of the oldest ancient languages on the earth is Greek. Well, definitely. Look forward to it. Let's see. Hendersonville, Tennessee. Flamingo Lisa is right there where the heartbeat of this story is. Hendersonville, Tennessee. Welcome, Flamingo Lisa. Wow. Princess Gaga ×3. Well, hello, Princess. Yeah, YouTube knocks a lot of us out of the algorithm. No kidding. No kidding. Radmila Rickson is in the building from Australia. Look at that. See? Australia's in the building, folks. Sabrina Marshall is in the building. We've got Arkansas in the building. Wow. Now, you know how I like to go down the chat. It's important because you guys make what I do important, and I know how important it is to you, so that's why I'm here. Cover the stories, cover the cases that mean the most. All right, so we got Anna Elizabeth. I got that one. We got Samantha from Texas, Amy from Costa Rica, Monica Gardner from Ohio. Welcome. God's Girl, 1971 from WV. I agree about the change after the there's some you could feel it. You can feel this one. I certainly do. I certainly do. But it's good to see all of you here supporting Sebastian Rogers, 15-year-old autistic boy who went missing out of his home on February 26th of this year. How'd that happen? We are still asking the question today. Succeeding 2 is in the building. Hello, love. Welcome. Had some great conversations with Succeeding on my channel, that's for sure. I got to get Brother Shankrock back up on panel with me. Maybe we'll do something together, Shankrock. We could do something on the political spectrum, because you've been tapping into that area, giving your thoughts about certain things, certain candidates, and the stuff that they have to deal with. Welcome, welcome, welcome. 2024, my goodness, we are here. Want to be sleuthing something. Mississippi, all right. Backwoods, Alabama. Wow, okay. Indiana and Chicagoland is in the building. Samantha is in the building. Much love to you. Sure, let me know when you're ready. Okay, Shank, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I think you and I can go back and forth and present some good content on that, you know, covering the illegal immigration, covering the, you know, I sent an article just recently from one of my channel followers, and they asked me, John, are you going to cover the infiltration that's happening in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, with the illegal immigrants coming from Venezuela? There's a gang out there taking over apartment complexes at gunpoint. You know, our country is changing, and the governor isn't really doing anything. And the mayor, oh my goodness, I might play the clip at the very end of this live just to give you an idea of who's running Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, man. They're acting like they're helpless when they can get on the phone and get the resources put there. I was looking for the National Guard. I was looking for, you know, come on. They're allowing them to do this. I'm starting to scratch my head and begin to think the reason why is because now this is all set up. We're about to go into September, and then we're going to start to see a lot of, and it's happening here in New York too. The undocumented immigrants, they're getting frustrated because they have to wait for visas for the next 6 months. So what are they going to do? Where are they going to go? where they're going to find money to live, to eat, etc., etc., etc. Each state has their own budget, and these people will keep coming up and coming in, take us over budget. When you go over budget, you have a deficit to try to cover. And they're making it hard for the governors and the mayors of the states, now taking place all over the country, making it hard for them to deal with this infiltration of undocumented people. And that's going to cause us some harm because, hey, when you're hungry, you want to eat, don't you? So where do you go? What do you start doing? What do you start thinking? I think we're going to see some of that start to roll out over the next several months because I think, as I said before in my previous live when I did cover this topic, we're going to start to see some changes happen the closer we get to the election. And it's already starting to occur. We got show poodles in the building. PK and Bit is in the building. Yes, thank you. So I wanted to come on here tonight. I think I gave a pretty decent roll call. I hope I did. If I missed anybody, well, I know you'll be in the chat. So if I see your name, I'll shout you out. But I wanted to come back on and continue. The series that I'm working on is the Sebastian Rogers case. I've been working alongside and collaborating with other content creators covering this particular case because it has taken our nation by storm. And for a 15-year-old autistic boy that goes missing February 26th, the morning of February 26th, out of his home, blew me away. I said, with one of the parents in the home, blew me away. And the story behind how that happened is also incredible as well, because nobody knows where this young boy is. Hadn't seen him, hadn't heard from him. And the biological mother, Katie Proudfoot, had mentioned that he walked out the front door, or he walked out the door. She doesn't know why he walked out the door. And I always said, how would you know whether he walked out the door or not? Walked out what door? Front door? Back door? Side door? A door we don't know about? What door was that? It was never specified. Why did he leave? It was also stated that when he left, he didn't wear any shoes, didn't take a coat, didn't take his cell phone. All he had was his glasses, and that's it. Barefoot in the month of February, the middle of winter, about 30 degrees outside, and goes missing without a trace. No one can find him. No one has seen him. No, children just don't vanish into thin air like they've been transported to the Starship Enterprise by a transporter. When they can make that a fact, okay, that I'll believe that, but it's not a fact. It's not a fact. And it is sad. That's right, Shank. It is sad. And the story that began to unfold when I came across it, it was suggested to me that I do what I can to cover the story, possibly make a contribution. I didn't have a lot of information at that time, but I began to watch other content creators because the story started growing. And it reminded me of a 5-year-old that went missing out of Rogersville, Tennessee, not very far away in Tennessee, who went missing from her home in broad daylight. And the parent and grandparent was there, Summer Wells. So how's that possible? How are these children going missing at home from inside the house, broad daylight or at night? How are they going missing? How did this young girl, 5 years old during that time, June 15th of 2021, go missing from outside, from inside of the home, with mom there, with grandma there, with her 3 brothers? She has not been found, and it's been over 3 years. Sebastian has not been found, and it is now 6 months. Six months, folks. Now, you figure if the child goes missing, you've got about 24, 48 hours, at best 72 hours, to find out where they are, locate them, and bring them back safely. Because a lot of these stories, when they come out, they always say, oh, they walked off. They walked off. And it's never true. Because the longer this takes, you begin to think other thoughts, especially when you cover 5, 10, 15 miles of terrain on foot, by car, on ATV tracks, on bicycles, roller skates, motor scooters, anything else that can get through wherever they went missing from. They seem to cover it in a short period of time. Because once that's done, then what do you think if you can't find them still? If they're not with a relative or a friend? Are we looking in the right area? Do we have enough information? Do we need to re-interview people in order to get the facts as to what happened here? And lo and behold, after 6 months of nothing regarding Sebastian Rogers, I'm beginning to think, and I will be getting into it tonight, that there's some other things afoot that's going on. There's some other things afoot in this case that's going on. Because now there's a reward that has been put out there just recently regarding, so matter of fact, on the anniversary, as it turned into the 6th month, the FBI, out of the Tennessee office, put out a $50,000 reward, which is great because it tells us, number one, they're still working the case, and number two, this case has elevated to the FBI. They have made a move, not Sumner County, not the sheriff's department, not the locals. The feds have made a move, and that is a significant move. Because when they come out, as they did in the Summer Wells case too, I tracked down, when did the FBI come out? And I was looking at the timeline, and I said, okay, they were there. EquiSearch was there. Why didn't Sumner County Sheriff's Office request for EquiSearch to come out there to help them? after at least 3 days, 5 days. We need some boots on the ground. Let's get the resources out here. Why didn't they contact EquiSearch as they did with Gabby Petito and Summer Wells? Is it ego that's involved? Because sometimes it is. The police departments and law enforcement, they've got egos. No, we got enough resources. They did that same thing in the Kanika Jenkins case. The FBI wanted to step in regarding a 19-year-old who lost their life at a birthday party in the back of a 4.5-star hotel in Rosemont, Illinois, and they found her in a commercial industrial kitchen freezer. No, there's no foul play here. Looks like, there might have been an accident of some kind, but we don't need any help. So they were told to stand down. Unfortunate when people go missing that our public officials, these law enforcement officials, have to deal with themselves in some way, shape, or form. Whether they're prepared for a missing persons report or not, they have to deal with it. And I believe they need far more resources and training and equipment to deal with missing people, because over the last 10 years, folks, the missing persons category has catapulted into, I'm not going to say oblivion, but these stories about missing people have escalated to a point to where if you don't hear about 3, 4, 5 people, 10 people going missing per week since January of this year, it's incredible. Like there's a new epidemic going on. See something, say something is what they say. They need training. They need the resources. They need to be able to deal with this issue because it is becoming more and more prevalent throughout our country. For what? Well, people start to think of trafficking. That's become an epidemic. They're making movies about it now. Trafficking. I never heard of such terms and words before, not when I was growing up. If you went missing, you went to your friend's house, maybe for a few hours, because they didn't have cell phones back then. I heard your mother calling you out in the street, or your dad calling your name out in the street, asking people, have you seen so-and-so? Have you seen so-and-so? Have you seen my son? Have you seen my daughter? And sure enough, shortly thereafter, they're found. No, not anymore. They're missing without a trace now. And people are looking. People want to know what happened to this 15-year-old. They want to know. How does he go missing when he's supposed to be preparing to go to school the next day? He went missing Sunday night, Monday morning, to get ready to go to school on that Monday. But according to the narrative, when the biological mother, Katie Proudfoot, woke up at 6 o'clock and went to her son's room and didn't find him in the room, nor in the bed, nor in the house, she ended up making a phone call. It wasn't to the biological dad at all. Seth Rogers. Wasn't to him. So, well, why wouldn't you call the biological dad to see whether he may have gone over there? I mean, it's just a train of thought, you would think, but that didn't happen. Why didn't she call 911? That didn't happen. What did happen is that she called her husband, Chris Proudfoot, got him on the phone. A little after 6 that morning. Can't find him. He's not in his room. He's not in the house. I don't know what to do. Oh, and now he suggested you check here. Did you look here? Did you check here? Did you look here? He's not out in the front. He's not out in the back. You think he's down the street? She calls him. The narrative also tells us that he was the one who contacted law enforcement. But it wasn't 911. You figured he would do it. But he didn't do it. And I found that quite strange. Why wouldn't you call 911 emergency assistance to make a missing persons report for a 15-year-old autistic boy who's not in the house? He didn't even call 911. Right there tells me, gave me the feeling, let's just say, that this was going to turn into something else. What he did do was call the sheriff's department. His line of reasoning is that the difference between the local police and the sheriff's department police are closer in proximity to where they live. So he called them instead. Whether they put any urgency on it during that phone call, we don't know. Whether that phone call was recorded like a 911 would be, we don't know, because there's no recording of any kind that's mentioned in this case so far, thus far, 6 months later. Six months later. So they get there. Now he's at work. The narrative goes, he's out in this area here in Memphis at the St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And his job out there is working in high-powered sky cranes. He's a sky crane operator, power crane operator, working in the area. They're doing a lot of construction out there at the hospital. This is what he states where he was. This is what he told them. He was here when Katie Proudfoot called him regarding Sebastian going missing. I said, okay, all right, so that puts him in a different location. He's doing all this crane work and everything. He asked his boss for time off because he's got a situation going on back at his house. And it took him some time to get back there on the 26th of February. He had left early that month in February. No specific date was given, though, whether it was the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th, but just early that month, and had not been home up until that phone call that was made to him by Katie Proudfoot regarding Sebastian going missing. However, we found out otherwise, that Nancy Grace had dug into that same narrative and found out that he did make a few visitations back home, back in the area. That's what was told. That's what was told. I've had some panel guests, other content creators from a previous live, join me in a power panel to go over a lot of the details of this case. And we've had that live, and we've discussed a lot of things about travel, distances, timeline, narratives, photographs, everything that we could find on this case, and put it down and started going through this stuff. There were interviews that were done. Very beginning of this case. This interview took place 8 days later after Sebastian went missing. And this was taken by one of the Nashville news reporters at that time. They were ready for, I guess, a full public interview at that time, and said some incredible things about what happened. Y'all seen this, right? Type of one if y'all seen this particular interview. Let me know if you've seen this interview. I mean, it's been out there. Along with Chronicles of Olivia, she did an interview as well. Nancy Grace did an interview as well. And the more I listened to these interviews, the more of the narrative and the story started forming, and then a lot of things didn't make sense. I wasn't the only one to think about these things. Like I said, we've had other content creators going over this stuff too. Chris McDonough has covered this case. Gray Hughes has covered this case. Michelle After Dark has covered this. I mean, content creator after creator after creator, the ones that I follow that can give you good, legitimate facts as they see them. Well enough, and there's some other ones out there I'll probably name throughout the course of this live, but well enough for you to get just a few more details. By the time you go through these interviews and then the narrative and begin piecing together this narrative, you have more questions than you have answers. I'm sure a lot of you have felt that way if you've been following this case that close. And I think a lot of you have, according to your answer in my chat. 249 people, thank you. Much love to everyone joining me here tonight. Yeah, Plunder, Justin, he was on my panel. Tattoo Mama, welcome. So we had some new people show up in here. Donna Shaw, welcome. Yeah. And the more I listened to these interviews, I said, okay. And there was one that Duchess had done on her channel. And that was a pretty interesting interview, because each time you listen to these interviews in succession, you notice that the story begins to change a bit. Things were added, things were deleted, things were trimmed. Words streamlined. And I began to think about a strategy. Is this a strategy narrative? Because it's more to try to convince the audience that Sebastian walked out that house and they had nothing to do with it than anything else. It wasn't about Sebastian. It's just about him walking out the house. Well, why would he leave? Why would he leave? Have no clue. No idea. Where did you look? How long did you look? Where did you go? Where did you search for him? Who did you search with? And you don't hear too much about that activity. And I said, oh, no, Not another Don and Candace Wells. They let law enforcement handle it. We're letting the authorities handle it, is what we're told. We're keeping out the way. Really? Because I haven't heard of any parent-led search outside of Seth Rogers, the biological dad of Sebastian Rogers, doing searches. I haven't seen anything on video, nor any news clips or of any sort of any kind regarding Katie and Christopher Proudfoot out there searching. Have you? Have you guys? Because if I miss something, please fill me in. Miss Justice or Miss Carol will drop my email in the chat. Send it to me. Send it to me. I have my eyes on the case, but I'm not all over the place. No, see, look at this. No. Ava says no. Seven Truth says no. Georgia Patriot Woman says no. Plant Diva says no. Not a thing. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, please don't tell me that we have another Summer Wells story. Please. Let's just find out where he is. Bring him home. He was at a friend's house, didn't tell anybody, because there was a situation that happened in the house at that time, maybe a disagreement of some kind. He's 15 years old. 15-year-olds can have disagreements too. They can spark up, they can flex back. They have their own personal thoughts and feelings and attitudes about themselves as teenagers. Come on. What was it about? If it occurred. But we don't hear about that. We just hear they just left. She went to his room. He wasn't there. She doesn't know why he walked out that door. That's it. That's all we got, folks. Film at 11 is what we're told. And it's hard to believe. You have a security in the house. You got a security alarm on the door. You've got a special needs child living in the house. You got a doorbell ring camera. Got cameras on the outside of the building. Do you have a security system in place? Is what Nancy Grace said. No. And yet she works for Brink Security as a technician. Oh, come on. Is that coincidence or what? You work for a security company for over 3 years and you don't have one in your house? And you got a special needs child living there too? I'm scratching my head. He says he's at work. He was out of town. Oh, man. Okay. Door to door. What did he say? Door to door, 2 hours and 36 minutes, door to door, to get from their house all the way to Memphis, where he worked at St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Door to door is what he told Nancy. And she was very stern in her interview. I liked the way she interviewed. She was asking direct court questions. It wasn't an interrogation. It was thorough, though. Enough for you to walk away from that interview scratching your head. Are they truly telling us everything about what happened? Walk us through your day, Chronicles of Olivia said. And she told some details. Got up in the morning, had breakfast, did some FaceTime, got a phone call, picked up someone, went someplace. BJ's for a popcorn. went out to dinner, dropped off groceries, then went out to dinner, then came back home. A little bit more details there. Okay, so when you got home, what time was that? Nothing. What did you do when you got home? Not much. It's very shallow. This was very shallow. There's a map between where they live and St. Jude's Children's Hospital. 3 hours and 46 minutes or something like that. Give or take, door to door. Okay. All the way from the house. All the way from the house. He drives this in black. Is what he told Nancy. He almost couldn't remember the year. There's a little red flag there that went off in my head. And I said, wait a minute, you don't know the year of your car, man? Guys would know the year, make, and model, how long you had it, how many miles on it, everything. When was your last oil change? When to check the air in the tires, all kinds of stuff. And she works for Brinks. It's a highly technical skill job. Yeah, you don't have a security system in the house. Oh, wait a minute. Come on. You're hurting. You're killing me here, folks. Your son goes missing. You guys are living in a beautiful, beautiful area. Son goes missing. Oh, man. All right, so you went to dinner. Where did you go to dinner? Where'd you go to dinner? We went to this place over here called the Texas Roadhouse. And they got some great food there. And it was during the evening. Okay, so we'll change it and give it the evening background. This is what it looks like at night. Now remember, folks, this is February. The month of February. The last place that Sebastian was seen outside of the parents was here. The very last spot. There are video cameras located at the Texas Roadhouse. They got a security system at the Texas Roadhouse. A lot of people go, especially over the weekend. And if it's a Sunday night, my goodness, you can imagine how jam-packed that place is because of the variety of food they serve. So did you have a waiter or a waitress? What did Sebastian eat? What did he order? What did he drink? Did he eat all his food? How was his mood? How was his attitude? What did you guys talk about? How was bowling? Because I understand they went bowling too. They went bowling too. When you begin to put together the details of this story, you begin to feel something. Something is not adding up. It was mentioned to Seth Rogers that he had seen a video from this location identifying Sebastian and Katie leaving at approximately around near 6:30. It was after 6 p.m. Now, in the month of February, during the wintertime, daylight savings time, 6 p.m. looks like this. It's dark. And a camera caught them outside in the parking lot, getting into a vehicle, most likely hers, and leaving the area. Did they go straight home? This is where we lose this timeline, this timepiece right here, because the rest of the story now goes to Katie. Everything now regarding what happened to Sebastian Rogers, 15-year-old autistic boy, teenager, now goes dark. Because we don't know what time they truly got home. There has been no evidence that I have seen or have come across or have heard since I've been following the case that someone has physically seen them return home that night. And if someone said that there was somebody's doorbell camera that caught her car, has that been verified, and why hasn't law enforcement mentioned anything about it for true verification? See, so that's rough. It's rough information, unverified information. So what time did they truly get home? So you go from here and you go about 14 minutes, 15 minutes tops, give or take, depending on the route you take to go back home. And if they did leave it about 6:30, that would put it at about 6:45, 6:50 at best, 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. Park the car, get the, Okay, so we got almost near 7 o'clock. Okay, so what'd you do when you got home? Blank. He took out the garbage because that was one of his chores, was mentioned. How much garbage did he take out? Was it just the kitchen? Was there anything in the bedrooms that needed to go out? The bathrooms? Where was the garbage can, if you use one? Where does he go out to take out garbage? Was the light on outside since it's dark? Did he wear shoes when he went out to take out the garbage? Little details. What was he wearing when he took out the garbage? Was it the same outfit he went missing in? You know, the black shirt, black trousers, Adidas, sweatpants. Or did he have on something else? The video footage from this location gives that point of view as to what Sebastian was wearing, what color his coat was, whether he had on blue jeans, white sneakers, black sneakers, his glasses, possibly even which hand he had his cell phone in, whether he had it in his hand or in his pocket, his coat pocket. All right, so he took out the garbage. What else did he do? He was playing in his room. What was he playing with? Was it his game? Was it his phone? Was it some other item that he would be in his room playing? Why the room? Why not with you? Did he ever go in the kitchen for anything? Something to drink, bite to eat? Did he prepare his clothes for school for the next day? Did he have any homework for that weekend from school? Was it ever checked if there was homework? Nothing is mentioned. You see what I'm getting at, folks? The details begin to disappear within the body of the time. 6:30, Texas Roadhouse. They leave, and that's it. That's it. That's like part one of the story. Part two now takes us into the void of the story, the abyss of the story. Remember, Chris wasn't home, so it's just him and Katie. So we only have one person who has identified Sebastian being at home. No company, no one came over. She did mention that she did receive a phone call from Chris at about 9:46 that night. She was in the living room. Just gives you a visual as to the interior of the home. It's a beautiful home. No security cameras? Come on. Come on, you're killing me. He had his own bathroom in his bedroom. Did he ever get up to go to the bathroom at night? Flush the toilet? Mothers are very light sleepers. When they are alone, they sense everything. When they have a child, they have ultra senses to everything. Even if you're barefoot walking around, mom can hear you. If you open up the refrigerator door, mom can hear you. You know what I mean? It's that motherly instinct that they just have that ability to sense, no matter how big the home is, what's going on. Now, she said she received a phone call at 9:46, and about 10 o'clock, there was a thud, thump. She told Nancy it was a thud. She also told Nancy a specific time. It was at 10. Not 10:05, not 10:07, 10:21, 9:57. How do you know it was 10? You were on the phone with Chris having a conversation that lasted up until near 12 from what was said in the narrative. What was that conversation about? Nothing told. What kind of thud was it? Was it loud? Was it dim? Did it sound far away? It was loud enough for you to hear it. What did you think it was? No details. Did you ever get up to go and check to find out what the thud was all about? No. Did you ever, before going to bed, go to Sebastian's room to check to see if he was in bed, light out, snuggled in? No. Nothing ever came about that thud, that unusual moment, a thud. She just brushed it off and assumed that he was in there moving things around. Because at 9 o'clock, that's when we were told that he went to bed. Phone call at 9:46. 14 minutes later, we get a thud. Get a thud. And it just seemed like she just passed it off as nothing unusual, nothing that really startled me. I just thought it was him moving things around in his room and just told him, knock it off, go to bed. That's it. Didn't check to see if the light was out. I found that strange. Didn't go and see if he was good, if he was okay. Did he take his medication that night? Does he take his medication solely, or is it given to him to make sure that he takes it? Is it a tablet? Is it a drink? Is it a liquid? Oh, well, we can't talk about that, because of the HIPAA laws, because we can't get into that. We're told by Christopher Proudfoot. Had nothing to do with no damn HIPAA. Nothing to do with no damn HIPAA. Did he take his medication that you know of? How's that? Yes or no? That night before he went to bed. Did he ever take a shower that night before he went to bed? No, we're just told that he came. She told him to go to bed. He said, well, good night, Mom. I love you. Said good night to the puppies and went in his room, from what we are told regarding the narrative. The thud was there in one interview, then a thump in another interview, left out of another interview, and then remarkably caught by Nancy Grace during her interview. Couldn't explain it, couldn't describe it. It was almost like clicking a switch on and off. That's how fast they got through it. That's what we're told. Sebastian goes missing. She goes to bed. What I was able to identify, and thanks to Justin from Justin for All, Clutching Them Pearls, he was able to find out some great information, detailed information regarding adding a little bit more to the timeline. Miss Mandy from Spirit Seeker, her channel, was able to find out a little bit more regarding the timeline. Allegedly, with Miss Brittany J from her channel, was able to find out some information and narrow down some details in the timeline. And these are the folks that I've been hanging out with. I've been doing lives on their channel with and following them as the story progressed. Because a child just doesn't go missing from inside that without any kind of evidence of it. There's just no way. Little dogs. I think I showed you that picture of the little dogs that he had. Did the dogs bark? Did the puppies bark that night? How were they acting? She said before she went to bed, she put them up, put the dogs up. That was a detail in the narrative now. She put the dogs up because she was falling asleep on the phone after the thud. It was a little before 12. So Chris tells her to put the dogs up and go to bed. Chris tells her to put the dogs up and go to bed. Wait a minute. When I tell my wife, put the dogs up and go to bed, just little things begin to make you think. How were the puppies that night? Where were the puppies that night when they got home? What did the puppies eat? Do they go out? Do they go outside for walks? Was that a part of it but left out? We don't know. I mean, little things. And the more you begin to look at how this unfolds, wait a minute. That's all? I mean, at least law enforcement, the FBI, went back to Don and Candace Wells and said, wait a minute, you guys got home at what time? And you only did 1, 2, 3, 4 things before you found out that your daughter was missing? Are you sure you got everything? You sure We got everything that we need to know. Why don't y'all take a little bit of extra time and maybe go back through your day independently of us and write down your full day. Maybe just by doing that, maybe you'll remember. Oh, yeah, we did laundry. Oh, we got laundry in there now, Candace says. These little extra details start to come out a little bit later on down the road, a little further down the road. I was worried about the dogs because dogs respond and they to anything that's going on, especially in the house. They sense it as well. They sense it. Well, what do we get? A very streamlined narrative. Not enough information for me, and not enough information for a lot of the content creators that I've worked with. Not enough information in Nancy Grace, Chris Madonna, Gray Hughes, or any of the other content creators. Michelle After Dark. There's a host of them out there. Not enough information. We're missing something. What are we missing, folks? Now your mind is going to tell. What are we missing, folks? What comes to your mind? What comes to your mind? Enough for him to take his glasses. She just doesn't know why he walked out the door, but he takes his glasses. Was there something about a flashlight that was mentioned, but we have no real evidence whether he had a flashlight on him or not? One of these pocket flashlights, keychain flashlight. Keychain flashlight. Is that a real detail of this story? Well, we'll keep it on the table. It was mentioned, but nothing verified. What color was it? How big was it? What did he use it for? Did he take it with him when he went out to take out the garbage? Did he take it with him if he walked the dogs? Maybe using it for those purposes? Okay. That was brought up. Excuse me. Wow, 351 people in the building. Much love to you all. Thank you for joining me. Shoes. How many pairs of shoes does Sebastian own? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't really heard a number, but they know how many pairs of shoes. I mean, okay. He didn't take his shoes. How do you know? Because it's still here at the doorway. Take them off at the doorway. Well, how do you know he went outside? Well, because he's not in the house. But how do you know he's not outside? Why would you think a kid would leave without shoes on, barefoot, to go outside in the month of February in the middle of winter? Who would do that? Would you do that? Even if it was to take out the garbage, would you do that? No shoes, barefoot. I mean, it's right there. How cold could my feet get in a couple of seconds? Doesn't make any sense. How you doing, Hugh? It's not logical. It's not sound. No jacket. It's not logical. It's not sound, especially no shoes. Feet have 7,200 nerve endings underneath the soles of the feet. And you mean to tell me that Sebastian is oblivious to the cold weather on his feet, knowing that there are 7,200 nerve endings in each foot that's going to pick up temperature, feel, texture, everything, especially if it's cold, and be brawn enough to withstand the temperature going outside barefoot? Is that possible? No, it's not. It's not. Literally comes to mind. What else was there? Oh, during the course of this interview, and I thank the other content creators for bringing this to my attention, I always pick up good educational details from them every time I'm with them. I thank them a lot. During the course of this interview, 8 days after Sebastian went missing, something was picked up also in this photo scene, if you will, part of the video scene, because this was a video of them telling the story as to what happened. There was something that was brought to my attention that they had noticed that caused me to think. And it was this. Christopher Proudfoot had some bruisings on his arm, both arms. Now, this is the picture that I had received. You could faintly see them in this picture, but they have been identified with outer inflammation all the way up to the cut in the elbow where they bend, all the way down to the interior portion just above the wrist. And what in the hell is that? What kind of marks of those? Were these ever observed by law enforcement at any given time? Were these ever questioned as to what they are? According to what's been put out there regarding these marks, they were from rough housing with the dogs, is what was mentioned that he said these marks were about. Rough housing with the dogs. But they don't appear to be any type of scratches that little dogs would make if their nails weren't cut properly. Scratching is what little dogs would do. These gave me the appearance of another kind. I'm looking very hard at this picture. I want to thank Justin and Miss Brittany and Miss Cher and Miss Mandy, people that I've been up on panel with, to really give me just one picture is, it tells a story. They say a picture says 1,000 words as to what these marks may have been. And they appear to be in a healing mode. Could that have been the reason why they had to wait 8 days to do this interview? From February 26th? In some way, shape, or form? Allegedly? I've been hearing a lot of people use the word allegedly. In my opinion, allegedly. Because YouTube don't play, Say, John, you better say allegedly. YouTube will bust your ass. So, oh yeah, okay. They haven't been messing with me in my videos. No, maybe one out of the 5 years that I've been on, going on 6 years. They haven't been messing with me. Just maybe one video I did. They sent me a little email. I showed it during the course of my live. Either take it down, edit it, reframe it, cut it out. We'll give you 7 days to do it. Oh, damn. Okay. I did it and I said, I'm not doing it again. But this got my attention. The interview itself got my attention. When Olivia did her interview, that got my attention. Because this is where we heard the story. Outside of Duchess's interview, this is where again we hear the story. I said, why is Sebastian's picture in the back of them? Did anybody read that outside of seeing his picture on it? Just says missing and in his picture, and it's like, okay, so. But this was a very interesting interview. You got to see body language. You got to see nuances. You got to see how they responded to the questions that she asked. And this was very conversationally done by Miss Olivia in beginning to open up further details. Sort of the next interview that had taken place with Nancy Grace on her channel. And this is where you see the dramatic change occur. And it's the line of questioning that they went through, and this was a panel that she had did with the professionals that she had asked to take a look at the case with, along with the Cajun search crew that informed them that there was no hits around the house when the canine crew was out there searching for Sebastian. And they were even questioned about it. But this is a very stunning, very telling interview. If everyone has seen this, for those of you who haven't, definitely check it out. I've covered it on my channel, covering the case. And I've scrutinized this interview because it gives you further details. And it also gives you the physical expressions of the parents of Sebastian, stepdad and biological mom, how they answered the questions. They were more short in their answers than ever before. They weren't comfortable, conversationally comfortable, which changed the whole dynamic. Somebody who also was in that location where they are, might be the RV, might be the camper, coughing in the background. They could have been possibly coached, or there was some coaching involved, possibly, allegedly, in my opinion. But this was stunning, and it told me a lot. And as you'll see, details of his vehicle and that camper that was up there in Memphis where he was staying at that location, because the job location wasn't far from him, St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So we get to today. And I've noticed in my findings and in my searchings and in my listenings, and this is the area that was mentioned, that he had parked that camper at Yogi Bear RV Camp Resort that they have up there. Covered that information on my previous live. And that he was there in that parking lot during the time Sebastian went missing. And the point I want to get to in my story tonight is about the nightlights. That video When I saw that, I said, oh boy, there's a big red flag here. Is this true or is it Memorex? When a new detail comes out and it's being put out in our community, our true crimes community, you scrutinize it. Okay, where'd that pop up from? Could this lead to something? And it's this right here. How many of y'all have seen this night video? Type of one in the room, because I'm going to get into it right now. This is the reason why we're here tonight. I'm sorry it took so long, but you know me, I have to build the story back to where I need to be in order to get to my point. You know how John Q does it. I don't like to lose anybody in the story that I'm following, and I appreciate all 349 of you. Hopefully you're all subscribed. I do love company. And share your love by hitting the like button. It does help in this tough algorithm that YouTube has got us running through. Okay, appreciate it. Okay. Now, this video piece bothered the hell out of me. And I brought it up to a number of content creators. And I listened to their answers. And I said, no, it can't be true. And they gave me some fine points. And every time I came back to this picture, we noticed that, the video's timestamp and clock are off by 3 days. This can't be the video. Why would they? Who put this out here? That's why I want to. Where'd this come from? All of a sudden. Does somebody want us to know something? Is it on purpose? Or is it by design to mislead? That's just my thinking, right? I said the date's wrong because I've dealt with the videos, the software, timestamps, compressed videos, edited videos, motion detected, still shots, you name it. Kanika Jenkins' case really educated me, and the content creators that I ran with when we did that case really educate you. Humongous is in the chat. He knows what I'm talking about. That case made you study videos and cameras and model make cameras, speed of cameras, calibrations of cameras, software that decodes the camera into the video that is produced from it. I mean, you name it. So this gave me a hard time. And it's only because of what we see. A lot of it is what we don't see. But we know here is the driveway of one of the neighbors' homes in the area that allegedly says that this happened the morning of the 26th at around 3. One content creator that I just recently spoke to confirmed and verified that this video is of February 26th, the morning of. And that was confirmed yesterday by Justin. He told me, absolutely, positively, John, you can't argue with me. Damn it. I know, because I know the source. I said, okay, I'll take your word for it. How'd this get out there? Well, someone, the owner of the video, had the video, shared it with a friend. The friend decided to do something else. It got out there to, I guess, one of the reporters out there, Nick Barris, I think it was, and he was the one who brought the video to light and did a news piece on it. Oh, Okay. But when I seen this same video from the internet, it didn't have the timestamp. Then I was able to capture the video with the timestamp. So I said, okay, we see lights. Remember the lights, floating little lights, or what appeared to be lights over here to the upper right-hand corner? Two floating lights. Something's going on in that area. There is motion detected here, no doubt. That's a fact. What is the motion? Why is there motion? What is the motion telling us? What's going on out here? And it's startling when you watch it, because there's motion to something, from something, and then motion from that to something, back to the from something going on here. There's a split between the lights. And when you hear somebody say, or when you hear what was put out there in our community about this being a garbage truck, and no way in the world that a garbage truck's lights are going to split from itself and go in two different damn directions, especially if the lights are supposed to be together in a frame structure that's solid. This is fluid. That ain't no damn garbage truck. Can't convince me of that. So the motion of these lights moved in a way with background lights in yellow in the back, that is a solid structure. The red moving lights are fluid lights. These lights are moving and moving in a direction I just couldn't get, only because the way this was captured. And this is at night. Michelle After Dark did what Mob Crew did, what Gray Hughes had tried to do, what we've all tried to do, Justin tried to do. Allegedly, Miss Britt, I mean, a lot of content creators were trying to manipulate the picture, try to set it right, to get it at a different angle. You know, we have to play with things to see if we can straighten it out, line it up. You've seen that. And I still wasn't convinced. I still was not convinced about what I was hearing. Michelle After Dark said, had this video, if we were to get a daylight shot of this same shot we're looking at here, we would be able to see how far the visibility or camera range would actually show us, how closer or further away things were in terms of what the camera caught. And I'm going, what angle is this? This is a weird angle. The light is on the left. There are garbage cans over to the left. And then we've got darkness taking over the right. So where's the street? Where's this? Where's that? You know, when you can't see, you can't see. And I'm not one to make shit up. You know, so I said, okay, let me go to my point. So let me come out of here. And I appreciate you all for bearing with me. I'm going to share my full screen. I got some things to show you. I got some things to show you. And I guess some of the content creators were scratching their heads saying, wait a minute, John Q, wait a minute. I'm looking at the same thing you're looking at and you can't figure it out? You're having a hard time with Damn, a video piece? Oh no, this can't be the John Q I know. I said, no, I'm having a problem with this. I'm not believing what's been put out there in the streets about a particular thing. People keep fudging around with the picture and trying to highlight the picture, cover the, well, just try to enhance it to see what you can see. But it's difficult because you can't change the impression of an original video piece. And if you try to play with it, you distort it. It pixelizes. You can't really see it now because you're doing contrast, you're doing brightness, you're doing everything to it, but you still can't see what you need to see. Okay. All right. So, and I'm not going to try to speculate as to what I think is going to look like or what I think it is. All right. I'm trying StreamYard in black. If you notice, everything is in black. I like what they're doing. Hope they keep up the good work too. 348 in the chat. Much love to you. All right. Where was I going? I was going here. And type a 1 in the chat if you can see this. If I need to blow it up, let me know because I want you to see what I'm about to get into. So we've got the update from the FBI now stepping into the picture, putting up a $50,000 reward for any information as to the whereabouts of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, who's been missing since February 26th of 2024 out of Hendersonville, Sumner County, Tennessee. Okay. I'm glad they stepped in because it's telling us something, folks. After all this time, 6 months, someone at the FBI or the unit of an FBI, it could be BAU, the Behavioral Analysis Unit. It could be a number of different departments, but they are looking at something else that may have evolved, or that may be evolving from Sebastian being missing this long. That's what this is telling me. And they decided to expand the scope of their search. That's what that's telling me. And that they are looking at specific items of evidence collected already, possibly from the phone data, possibly from video cameras, interviews, statements made, you name it, but something else is starting to crystallize. And so far, I like what I feel about what is happening. And we're going to get to that. Okay. And with speaking with the content creators that I have mentioned, and I thank every single one of them because they make me think. Every single one of them. I thank them for being on the case too. John, that night video. Let's see if I can do this. I did it yesterday. Let me see if I can do this. There it is. Uh-oh. John's working. Yeah. You came to see me work. This is what I'm doing. John's working. I'm saying, okay, where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Where's the camera? Going crazy over here. Where's the camera? Where's the camera? So we went to the camera. Here's a home. Here's a driveway. You go down here. I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. We'll go down the street of Stafford Court. Right there. This is his driveway. And here's the camera. I'm looking at the angle of the camera. It is more tilted. I think if it's not 45 degrees, it may be either less or more, give or take, but it is tilted into the area of this driveway. I would want the camera to capture everything from that corner where the camera is to at least the street area here. If I was the homeowner, I want to make sure all my cars and my assets are covered. Okay, in which, as we can see here, this does. Let me see if I can get it. Bear with me, folks. I had this daggone thing calibrated. No, I don't want you to change. Go back here. There we go. Okay. You know, I'm going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I'm just noticing that camera's not going to cover the whole street. Or is it? Lo and behold, I was looking at this from a different perspective. And by speaking with Justin about it, and Miss Brittany about it, Miss Mandy about it, Miss Sharon, Mark about it, even Mr. E from his channel about it, I said, damn, John, you're looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at the dark picture as if the black part down here is the building. The black part down here where this truck is pointing is the building. I was looking at it like if the camera was straight. Unbeknownst to me then, that I had an epiphany about yesterday, that the building structure is here to the left. Because I kept saying is that the angle is coming from the left going to the right, diagonally across. Left, lower left, upper right, lower left, upper right, lower left, upper right. But my perspective was down here, like from south to north, south to north, south to north. What changed my perspective was just a conversation. And says, well, John, go back to the damn street and take a look at this angle. Same way you should see it, and maybe it'll clear it up. And damn it to hell, it did. Because now, when you take a look at it from this angle, this side angle then makes sense to say, okay, camera to the left, going to the right. I had to come on here and share that to you because, you know, it's about perspective. People see different things, different times for their different reasons. I said, okay, that's what you do. Okay, left to the right, left to the right. And the lights in the picture are on the left, and the light that was shining that night could have been this doorway light, could have been this floodlight back here, is also to the left of the building. It lines up with the camera that's going from left to right. John, Durr, why didn't you pick that up before? Hence, you'll get a view of what they're talking about, because lights did appear in the background momentarily, because this was a very short video, momentarily back here where these red lights, or the lights that are circled in red here, where these lights were. Because we could see right up in here, give or take, and thank you, Miss Mandy, you made me look again before I went to bed, that it does line up, and that there was somebody out here, and that these two lights represents physical motion from a biological motion, if you will. Some people were out here, and according to the confirmation regarding the timestamp and the date, this was taken the morning of February 26th at around this time. Why did the timestamp freeze? That's a different story. But what I did find out is that this camera, video camera, is a hardline video camera, meaning it's not operating off of Wi-Fi. So hence, I'm not going to rely too much on the jamming or the jammer idea, because if it's hardline, you use a jammer or not, it's not going to have any effect. It has to have an open Wi-Fi. That would make sense. So I was able to confirm that and then tie everything together to say, yeah, there's somebody out here. There is a vehicle out here. There are people out here. And they're moving in line and in conjunction as to what happened that night. You see my lines here, left to right. And this is what helped me to make my mind up to say these content creators are on it. Sorry, John Q was a little slow, but it's a matter of perspective sometimes. And I question my perspective all the time during every case. Did you look at it from a different angle? What about this? What about that? Give it a rest. Take a day off, go back to it, look at it again. Look at it again, look at a different detail again. That's how I do it. Left corner, going to the right, toward the street, where the car was, where the lights are, makes sense. Lights in the background, two lights. Way in the background from this building structure back here that was caught that night. And then I began to put the pieces together, and I said, okay, John's not retarded no more. John's on the beam. I woke up looking at it from a bird's eye view. I said, okay, now I can see it. Now you're going to see it. Here's the house. Here's a camera. I love every single one of you for bearing with me through this. It was agonizing. Here's a camera. The little orange dot is a camera. There's a viewpoint of the camera going toward The trench area, that ravine, that small ravine area, looks like a water ravine of some kind. Could be 4.5, 5 feet deep, but it's deep. It's deep. Okay. All right, I got that piece. All right, could the camera have taken this shot? Answer, yes. Because you have the lights over here. You've got a car in blue over here in the dark. Had to be a dark car. I would think so. Could have been a blue car, could have been a black car, could have been a dark green car. It makes sense if the car was dark. So it can take shape of the environment. You can't see it. Then the two lights in this vicinity and around this area. And the ideal place for these lights to have been going back and forth is in the ravine. You're 4 foot lower for no one at 3 o'clock in the morning to see you. It's ideal. Absolutely ideal. And I hope y'all can see this. Lights at night, ravine makes sense. Distance between the building's camera and the ravine makes sense. And the car that's parked there in the dark makes sense. Because there was a car there. The reason why I can say that now is because the car's lights turned on that night in the background. And thank you, Miss Mandy, for showing me that shot. Because she shared with me that videotape that caught those lights. You see how I put this together, folks? So John ain't got no problem no more with that video piece. No more problem. All taken care of. And then when you can track everything from the ravine, it goes right to the back of the home. Quietly, silently, stealthily, comfortably back to the home. Either to the back doorway, the back portion of the house, or there's a side door there. Either way you put it, it's ideal in terms of the track. So for the people who live in this house here, thank you for having your camera on that night. Whoever this is, thank you for having that camera on. Hence, the FBI takes a look at what you're seeing here tonight, and they do a diagram, they do a reeval, begin to take a look at some things and some times, and begin to reevaluate if this video is showing us what had occurred that night, confirmed by the owner of the camera, and these activities did happen that night, it is giving the appearance of something else. Why don't we follow up on it? Is what, after 6 months, they may have determined. They may have determined. I hope they have, because look what I just showed you. Look at what the other content creators have shown you, just regarding just what you're looking at here tonight. Is there an opportunity here? Is there an opportunity here regarding this picture? Answer is yes. Is there means here? Yes. Could there be motive here? Oh, man. Answer is yes when you look at this track line and the moving lights and the car lights that turned on momentarily and then went out. Opportunity, time, means, motive. Motive has got to be cleared up, though. Why? Why that night, that time, for whatever reason? Why? Why Sebastian? And then you start to filter in some background based on character. Chris has got some background. Y'all been digging into that and found out some other stuff. Katie's got some background. Y'all been digging into that and found out some stuff. Seth, to me, in the beginning, was isolated from a lot of things due to the fact that he covered his ass. He covered it good. Is there work? With cameras, confirmation. He did everything that law enforcement wanted him to do. Went on Nancy Grace. He went on News Nation. And he was, he left this guy out in the dark, so to speak. Not calling him, not communicating with him. Take a look at this. Now that you see what I see. And that's where I started this whole case from. Do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? Because when you can tie these little pieces together, all in a moment, you could see that, yeah, there's a good chance this could have happened. And that Sebastian was out here that morning. And he wasn't out here alone that morning. And he didn't walk out that house like we were told. And that thump at 10 o'clock also tells something else. You can remember 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, but you can't remember any other time. What time you got home? Nope, we'll leave that out. What'd you do when you got there? Nope, we'll not say too much about that. What time did you tell him to go to bed? 9 o'clock. Damn. I can't remember. I know it was a little after, not even to say a little after 9, maybe closer to 9:30. No, 9 o'clock. It's a round number. 9 o'clock. When did you hear the thump? 10 o'clock. Could have been near 10. I was on the phone at that time because I was talking to Chris, and I really couldn't tell you the exact time. No, we didn't hear that. No, 10 o'clock. A solid 1 hour later. What time to go to bed? A little before 12. That's where it began. And we can't make that a round number. Say maybe a few minutes before 12. How's that? Put the dogs up, go to bed. It was also mentioned at 11:30, around 11:30, the lights went out in the house. That's according to a neighbor's statement. Why she was at the window, I don't know. But that was out there too. So we got 11:30 before she was told by Chris, put the dogs up and go to bed, just a little before 12. I didn't want to miss that part. But 11:30 wasn't mentioned by Katie, though. A little before 12 was mentioned. Now you have the whole shot. Lights in the background from this building. And I tried to do my best to try to draw 2 white dots here representing lights. But you get the idea. And camera cone, if you will. What the camera cone caught. Lights in the background. I said, yeah, that would work. The ravine, or at least up until that area of the ravine, that would work. The lights it caught. the car it caught, or the car lights that it caught, because it's in the cone, in an ideal place, 4.5 feet deep to hide yourself in, going in this direction toward killing. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get to that part yet. I'll save that. I finally got through it, folks. I finally got through that, and I thank you so much for bearing with me to try to get through that. But it gives you a better visual in your mind as to that dark video picture that we've been looking at, trying to discuss the details of certain things we couldn't see. However, like I said, if an overlay of that camera's shooting that driveway could be done during the day and sent to one of us content creators, it could be Justin, it could be Michelle After Dark, it could be Gray Hughes, it could be anybody, any one of us, and sent to us, we'd be able to line that baby up and see what that camera saw that night. And if it captured everything that I just got finished showing you, that kind of puts another confirmation piece, a tighter confirmation piece together to say, I think I know why the FBI changed their mind. Because this is what I got from this. Make sure my sound is up. Y'all can hear it.
This bracelet right here, it says Sebastian's Army, and members of Sebastian's Army back here behind me are outside the sheriff's office today, reminding everyone that it was 6 months ago that Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his home in Hendersonville.
Today is the 6-month anniversary of him going missing, and it's very important to keep Sebastian's name out in the public so he's not forgotten. And we were very pleased to hear about the $50,000 reward. That's going to be very helpful.
Yes, now the FBI is offering a $50,000 reward for any information that leads to the missing 15-year-old with autism.
I hope that's the catalyst to make something move.
Ken Widener with Sumner County EMA heads up the continuing search effort for Sebastian. To date, they found no trace of the teen. Yes, it's possible Sebastian wandered off on his own, but the FBI reward money concedes the very real possibility of foul play.
If some
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear what you just heard? I heard it. I know y'all just heard it. Holly Iris says yes. I'll play it again.
Of foul play.
if some
Of foul play. The very real possibility of foul play. Real possibility of foul play. It's the very real possibility of foul play. Feeds the very real possibility of foul play. Feeds the very real possibility of foul play.
if somebody were to have done something, and
Seeds the very real possibility of foul play in his own, but the FBI reward money concedes the very real possibility of foul play.
if somebody were to have done something, and they told somebody something, it may be what it takes for that person to get that off their chest and make the right decision.
And now
The very real possibility of foul play, hence the reason for the reward money, comes 6 months later. You got that, folks? Yeah, you got that, folks? Because when we can put it together as we have over the last 6 months, just the way we had it here tonight, and can see it just like we saw it here tonight, and they take a look at it and see the same thing you just got finished seeing here tonight and other channels too, likewise. I'm not saying I'm the only one who did this, because I'm not. I just did it for myself so I can show you, yeah, he caught up. That they have conceded the real possibility that there may be foul play here. And so they are scrutinizing the evidence of everything regarding this case. That's real good news. And they stand behind it, and they came with $50,000 reward because, from what I have been told just yesterday, this information was shared with me from another content creator, that there are other people in the neighborhood that have some evidence that we haven't heard yet, that we haven't seen yet. There's a possibility of a second camera in the neighborhood that captures that car. You know, the one with the lights that showed. Hence, what other possibility or probability could you think of when you piece all that information together? Well, since we're here, let's put up $50,000 and see if anybody will share more information with us. Any more videos out there that didn't come to them yet? Any more eyewitnesses that haven't spoken to them yet? Any more visuals that they can get? Statements that come in? Tips? Let's start digging hard, because the pressure on social media is phenomenal. It seems like every day there are content creators covering Sebastian Rogers' case, which makes us look like we're not doing anything. So we got to step up. We got to man up. We got to come to the plate. We got to show them that we're still on this damn thing. And hence, when you can put all the information together as you've seen it here tonight and elsewhere, yeah, we see why they stepped up, because they have to concede the real possibility that there is foul play. The story's not checking out. It's too few details given about what happened. We got to go back and do some re-interviewing. Got to go back and tweak it. You sure? Are you absolutely positively sure now? Is there anything missing? Take a moment and think about it. Is all they have to do.
The TBI references the reward for information leading to Sebastian, or to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for his disappearance.
Or the arrest and conviction of those that are responsible. They said that with purpose. That makes that $50,000 extremely valuable based on that statement. I love it. I love it.
Now, remember, investigators have never named any suspects.
Any evidence of foul play?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
At that time, we're at the 6-month mark, the FBI doesn't think so. They didn't have it at that time, Sumner County Sheriff's Office, but now the FBI believes something else.
Still, after 6 months with no good leads, everyone wonders how a child alone could vanish without a trace. So the hope is someone out there knows something and calls in the key tip to 1-800-TBI-FIND and helps solve the mystery of what happened to Sebastian.
Whoa. You see this map? I just wanted to stop it here for a second and thank you all for being here. Right over here where this green dot is pretty much indicating where the house is in this, and this is a line grid section. All the areas that have been gridded out for search. This is huge. This is huge. But this little green guy here is where this represents Seth, you know, the color green. In this map, sits right across from where they did search in the next grid over, where the retention pond was. So all of this is now gridded out. All of where the high school has been gridded out. And you see what they're doing here. They just shared with you grid lines or grid areas in their office, and they've got them coded. Search area D, search area H, search area south of the house. Just a little bit of where they have been looking.
Happened to Sebastian Rogers. Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
I wanted to share that news clip with you. There's no way in the world that you can misunderstand or mistake the interpretation of that news clip. And I'm glad, because maybe now we'll begin to see this case start to pick up some speed. Start to get some turns in this now. Now, I did send out, and I know I haven't been looking at the chat. Please forgive me. You know me. When I start to go to work, I want to get what I have on my mind out before I forget it. I will do this because I did send out some links to a few of the content creators to join me here on panel who wanted to come up, share some insight, if they will. I dropped a link in there. See if anyone wanted to share some of your insight as to what we covered here tonight. I feel good about what we covered here tonight. I just needed to come back to clear up that damn video. That picture bothered me for weeks. And it was almost like no matter what anybody said, I said, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Well, the reason why is because you were looking at it from a different perspective. Now I see it. And once I did, I was able to map it out like that. Map it straight out. And I wanted to make sure that you've seen it too. Means, motive, opportunity, time, all in your face here tonight. Now, we got to find out the why. Why Sebastian? A lot of things were going on peripherally around Sebastian and his biological mother and the stepdad, which is background now. Got them going in and out of court, things going on with his daughter, things going on with him and the job, things going on with her, and obviously things going on with Seth. Having to deal with this. Every single day that goes by, they have to deal with it. And it is a pressure cooker. Thank you, Tammy. It is a pressure cooker. Good. Because like we've all said, time will tell. It always does. Because each day does add, never takes away. each day adds. Whether you get something or you get nothing, it still adds. And whatever you get at the very end of it is the result of it. And whatever result that is, guess what? As of the 26th of this month, the FBI decided to make a move. Because he needs to be found. And for whatever reason whatsoever, that's going to be sorted out. But he needs to be found and brought home. Alive or not, he needs to be found. And let this case begin to move in a different direction other than where it's at. That's just me. That is just me. There should have been no thought in any way, shape, or form at all to want all of this to have unfolded the way it did, to last this long. Absolutely none. Hi, Curly. Absolutely none. If you did something, if an accident happened, if he hit his head, if he fell down, went unconscious, you didn't know what to do, and everything else transpired from there, I mean, damn, just say so. I said the same thing regarding Summer Wells. Not to point the finger at anybody directly, but I know one thing. Candace was home that day. She knows what happened. Katie was home that night. She knows what happened. And that's the hard part about this story, because there's no way in the world a mother would not know, with zero knowledge, what happened to their child. A mother would not know. They know everything about their child, where they are, what they're wearing, what their favorite color is, what they ate moments ago, if they took a shower, if they had their homework prepared for the next day to go to school, if the clothes were laid out, how the room looked. You got everything else on a time clock. When did you call Chris? It was a little after 6, 3 minutes after 6, because I woke up at 6 o'clock. Well, you got a time for that. How long did you stay on the phone? When did you get the law enforcement on the phone? It was be about 6:20. What time did you leave the house? 6:25. What time did you come back? Once you went out searching by car? They know all this. What time was Seth call? 7:25. Now, oh my God! Now we got times coming in. You see, people know what they know. They cannot unknow what they know. There's no way that they could do that. Like unring a bell. Come on. It's impossible. So this is done selectively by choice. That's the impression it gives me, in my opinion. Allegedly. And I wanted to come on here tonight and share this with you, bring you up to speed. John Q didn't go nowhere. John Q is still on this story. I'm going to stay on this story because now I believe things are going to begin to turn. Somebody's going to step up. A new search is going to be developed, whether it be from Seth and his team, or it could be private search still being done through the sheriff's office, with the FBI, with a search crew, independent of our knowing, ever being made public until later on. Now we can let them know. Because what happened to Madeline Soto blew my mind. Had they not checked this dude's phone and found those damn pictures, which told them, wait a minute, this dude was living with the girl that's missing? Oh, yeah. I think there's a whole lot more to that. And guess what happened? They did interviews. Yeah. Were they very telling? Yep. Were certain things said and certain things not said? Yep. Did stuff happen in broad daylight? Yep. Was there camera footage that caught anything? Yep. See? Once you have all those elements and you start to follow the story, it starts to fall into place a little bit. They got him. They got him. And he's going to cook. I don't know what's going to happen to Jennifer. She's got to deal with it now. How she allowed that shit to happen in her house, I'll never know. But we are going to find out. Good, bad, or ugly. Whatever the story is going to tell us, it's going to come out. These people are not going to stop looking. You're going to find what you seek. You're going to get what you give your attention to. Always. Always. Mind is creative. The human brain, the human mind is creative. And conditions, environment, and circumstances are the result of your predominant mental attitude. Whatever you think about, your behavior, you become. It's just human nature. It's just human nature. So I dropped the link a couple of times. It looked like everybody wants to just chill out, stay quiet. I know that there are maybe a couple of other lives going on. I know that Miss Brittany J was going to go live. I had sent her the link, but I see I might have began to cut into her time. She's usually a 10:45, 11 o'clock p.m. person. But yeah, she's going to be talking about it on her channel tonight. I'm sure of it because she was covering some information on her channel last night, which I was a part of that panel. And we were going over some things with Miss Mandy and Miss Nana on her channel. And, she said that she was going to pick back up on it on her channel tonight, right after my live. So I said, okay, well, if I'm finished in time, I will definitely jump back over to her channel and see what part 2 is going to be about tonight. Because we were talking into some great detail. Now that I've gotten this live done and this information now off my chest and cleared up for myself, and hopefully you found value in what I shared. If it's your first time that you're coming across my channel, being referred to my channel, welcome. I thank you for being here. If you like what you saw tonight, if you like my presentation, the delivery of my content, please subscribe. I'd love to see you come back. Please hit the like, for Seth, for Sebastian. Get this out into the algorithm for them. And if you're not familiar or aware of Miss Brittany's channel, if Miss Justice is still in the building, if you can drop allegedly with Brittany J, drop her link in the chat. So people, if you're leaving here from my chat, you can go right on over there to her chat. Because I'm going to grab a quick bite to eat and end up going over there to see what new developments. Marley 13, thank you for the gift that you sent me yesterday. You hit me up by surprise. Here I am on somebody else's channel, and we're discussing this case. And I get a cash app from Marley 13. I said, how does she know I'm here? Until I found out that she was in the chat listening to me. I was like, okay. I said that was different, but it was a beautiful surprise. And it just goes to show that, you know, there are some that's been riding with me for quite some time, and they know John Q. They know what I come to deliver, and I try to do it to the best of my ability. You know, like I said, with no mess. I don't have no mess. We don't do it. We don't do it. So thank you, Eileen Mary O'Malley. Thank you. Great live, John. Kim French, love your New York accent. Really? I have a New York accent. My goodness. I never knew that. It's better than people saying, "Oh, you sound like Obama." I didn't know how to take that at first when I got a couple of people telling me that. You sound like Obama. I said, oh shit, really? I don't know. I recorded myself listening. I said, no, damn, I don't sound like him. I don't sound like him. When he talks, he has certain pauses. That's what makes Obama's voice and his language very appealing, because he makes sure he makes certain pauses between his sentences, his lines. I said, I don't know how to take that, but so right now, since he's president, I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you. Now I really get that, but if you like my New York accent, thank you. Been a long time. Great show tonight. Powerful information. Marcia, thank you. Great stream, sunset gazing. John, hope to see you at Brits. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely going over there. Holly Irish, you are good. Bottom line, you did amazing tonight. John Q. I would love to meet you and shake your hand. Well, thank you. This is hard work. No doubt. Because you got to think, you got to really think about what happened to this 15-year-old. I went missing all of a sudden. Nobody knows where the hell he went or had seen him since. Thank you, Hugh. Humongous is in the building, my brother, from the Kanika Jenkins case. Yeah, this is tough. Jennifer Rebecca is in the building. You know, to show you, and you notice I just used one news video clip tonight. I don't try to stack them back to back. I'm looking for certain things. This one said exactly what I was looking for. The reason why the FBI put the 50,000 up is because they had to concede that there's a possibility of foul play here. And now things have taken a different point of view. See, perspective, point of view. You keep going over it and over it and over it and over it and over it until something you hadn't thought about shows up. And you got to check that box. They have to, because they're going to bring this kid home now. Their jobs are on the line. They have to bring him home. I want him home now. See something, say something now, because now they've given the public motivation to say something. Definitely. Thank you so much, John Q. Been following you since Summer's case. Glad you're on this. Your lives are wonderful as always. Thank you. I never wanted to work for LE, but the FBI, to me, rock my world as they don't play. Yeah, the FBI don't play. The clues are already there. FBI putting feelers out. Yeah. I believe that 6 months long, day and night for Seth is, see if I can grab that. Starting to get to your comments here. 6 months long, 6 months, day and night for Seth is pure torture and traumatizing. It can drive you crazy thinking about all the possibilities. Absolutely. Absolutely. I almost forgot I had that damn button here. But like I said, it's the first time I've, had my screen, on the dark, doing it in the dark. StreamYard had a new feature I wanted to try. I said, okay, it is a bit different, but it's not too bright in my face. Thank you. Well, you, Texas lady, thank you for subbing up. CP didn't want Sebastian anywhere around his daughter. He needed to go, so I think he made him go away. Pam, I felt that. Out of the discussions I felt that. No doubt I felt that. His attitude, like I said, character plays a very important role. Enjoyed your stream, John. Just a girl, thank you. Thank you, 50,000, that's right. I don't know why United States Marshals weren't brought in also. Well, you never know. They are federal. And the Marshals could be the next step. Because those are the ones that come and get you when you sleep. And they come heavy, like Homeland Security. Who knows? Investigation going to pick up, I believe that. Yes, I believe that too. Well, thank you for subbing up, PKN Bit. I sent you something in Cash App, Georgia Patriot. You did? I'll be damned, you did. I have my phone on silent. Oh my God. Wow. Well, thank you, sweetheart. My goodness. That's some big love. My goodness, thank you. Yeah, because for me, that night video bothered me so bad. I literally had to step away from it. Because I wasn't believing the image that I was seeing. Sebastian looks just like my autistic son. I pray to God every day for Sebastian to get justice. Yes, Samantha, me too. Me too. And for those of you, thank you, Miss Justice. For those of you who find something that you want me to take a look at, drop it to me in my email. Drop it to me in my email. I've had a number of folks send me stuff, and I thank God for them because they're out there doing the same thing. They're not satisfied with the answers regarding this case. And they just remember me not being satisfied with the answers regarding this case. Let me send this to John and see what he thinks about it. I get every single email. I open up every single email, and then I have to check my spam folder for anything that Gmail tries to filter out, just in case somebody was trying to send me something that I hadn't looked at. I hadn't found any, so which is good. No doubt, that's for sure. If Seth stops, he will break down. Yeah, I get that. He's got to keep strong for his boy. And he has to. And I think what's going to keep him standing on this is knowing that content creators that have been covering this case are standing. We're standing with him. We're standing for Sebastian. And yeah, when you got people out there that's doing that, and it's a reflection on him. He's standing back. He's out there searching. He's making phone calls. He's in people's face asking questions, thinking about where he needs to go, where he hasn't gone, who he hasn't spoken to, what numbers he needs to call, what follow-ups today does he need to find out from Sumner County Sheriff's Department. It's a lot. It's a lot. I even contacted Dog the Bounty Hunter. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder what Dog's thoughts are about this. Because he did give his opinion when it came to Gabby Petito. You know? And I think, I'm not sure, I think he gave his opinion on this case too. Something about, oh, my brain is going. Something about, you know, after a time looking, I think he said, after some time looking, you get no results. You got to go back to the house because there's something might be going on with the parents. If I'm not mistaken, I think he did do a little weigh-in. I think he did, if I remember it. I'm glad you streamed tonight. It's been a minute. Always love hearing what you have to say. Just a girl. Well, thank you. Yeah, it has been a minute. It has been a minute. Jennifer Rebecca. Love that name. CP married 5 times tells me something about his character too. Oh, oh, there it is right there. You said it. Jennifer, you said it right there. Justin brought that up last night. They're married 5 times in under 20 years. What, the marriages are not working, or is something wrong with him? That definitely goes to character. Man, stop getting married. Not unless you need the term marriage for something else, perhaps. But yeah, that goes to character. His ex-wife, from what's out there in our community, you know, Nina, I think it's Nina. Either she did an interview or a video. She tells about his character. Not too good to fill in some of the blanks that he most certainly will not say. Sebastian told CPS, and he didn't want him saying something to keep him from his daughter. I believe that too. Marley, I believe that too. Something going on with Sebastian going to live with Seth after the school term was up, and that it would be easier for Chris to have his daughter over the house. I mean, they got the room. Faith had her own room at the house, from what I've heard him say. From what I heard him say, will do. Remember, CP told Seth no one would look for Sebastian if they knew what he did and held it over Seth's head. I remember hearing something like that, Unified for Summer. Like if he had something dark about Seth, and if that particular thing got out, nobody would look for Sebastian. I mean, now you think about what kind of a mindset is that? I know some shit about you that I can drop that's going to make everybody run away. If you decide to blah, 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 blah. That's called manipulation. That is called manipulation. I know Justin loved you to death. So I subbed up months ago. He's a good guy. Yeah, Justin is awesome. All of the content creators that I mentioned, I name drop on my channel. Everybody knows it too. I keep thinking about Nina and how they took her newborn away from her. What else could they do if they went that far? Right. What my thoughts exactly. My thoughts exactly. What else would they do? Our country is going to where our kids disappear without a trace, and no one can answer any questions or be responsible for it. That's right, Pam. That's right. I was busy today, but I sent you the articles. Oh, okay, Marley. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think it was Marley who sent me the articles regarding the Venezuelan gang taking apartment complexes in Aurora, Colorado with guns. With guns, folks. And the mayor and the governor don't know what to do. These are Democrats. See, I don't know. It's been quite a while. I don't want to swing back into politics because I'm in one gear right now. But I'll get there. I'll come back with it. Thank you, Miss Marley. I'll come back with it. I will come back with it. John, I would love to know more about the burning car that was mentioned during the dispatch call. The dispatch speaks to an officer about it. There was a burning car. There was a burning car. I need a little bit more, Tori. Burning car? That's the first time I'm hearing about a burning car. In the Sebastian Rogers case? Tell me. You got my email. Send me something if you know something. Excellent wording. Well, I try. Remember, I got to be careful. YouTube knows about John Q. That's his baby. I do believe he loves his son. And if you're talking about Seth, absolutely. Absolutely. That was a foul play, more or less. Ooh. I hear you, Holly. There's a lot of tension that was in that house. A lot of things happening. Time was collapsing. Time was getting short. Maybe a better way to put it. Sebastian getting ready to finish the school year to go and live with his father, and Faith coming to live with her father. Katie not wanting to adjust to that, maybe for her own personal reasons, could have sparked up something. And she was given some pushback, which caused a lot of other things to obviously go wrong. Sebastian overheard this going back and forth, like he has been going back and forth every other week regarding visitation. And no one considered what his thoughts are, how he was feeling about it. And when you get into that area of isolation, it can really mess with you. The good point. Mom Crew has laid it out perfectly too with night video. Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that he did that I will agree with, maybe the overall theme, but specifics when it came to detail, that wasn't really clear. I think it was adding his own interpretation. He has his own opinion. He's entitled to it as well. As to the possibilities, as to what could have occurred that night regarding the video. Matter of fact, I'm just going to do this because I did have it lined up. I think I still got time to do it. Yeah. Let me share with you what Miss Mandy shared with me just last night. See if I can do that. Oh, I can. And it was a video piece that she shared with me that gave me the idea. And I said, okay. I can see it. I can see it. And it was the mystery car movement that she was able to capture, make a video of, and send it to me. I'll share this with you right now before we break up.
So you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it.
Right there. And that's what made me rethink the orientation of the camera. It was right there when those car lights turned on, and the distance between the lights and the top of the vehicle that was parked in the driveway. Miss Mandy, I love you. Spirit Seeker, much love to you. And props for her capturing this to give me a better orientation as to, obviously what I did not see. Because when those lights showed up, I said, damn it, the car is in the street. It's right there. You got two moving lights representing people. Still solid lights in the background. Sebastian goes missing. And you mean to tell me that the sheriff's department came out, maybe even seen this video and said that there's no evidentiary value in that video? What the hell is he looking at? Did he ever question it? Did he send a rookie out to go and talk to somebody? I think they'd got enough information. Sure enough, now the FBI believes otherwise. You see how she put that there? Y'all see the car? And it made sense. She even put the car there. Says, John, do you see the car now? Yeah, okay, I got it. I got the car now. I got the lights in the car. And that's what I wanted to share with you. I thank Miss Mandy for sending me that. It's a little bit more to the clip, but I don't want to get into it. If you want to see that clip, I think she has that on her page, Spirit Seeker Truth. I think we had her channel posted in the chat earlier. But yeah, most definitely. I mean, that right there, I said, okay. Tori says, John, I have been to Sebastian's house. The video, the mob crew has worked perfectly. Now his theory is a theory, but the layout of the lights in the car is perfect. Yeah. Yep. And when you can get people to see the same thing over and over and over again, and it's symmetrical, then there's something there. You know, red light is a red light. Green light is a green light. If I can see it, you can see it, and we both agree that we are looking at and observing and seeing the same thing, you can't take away from it now. And this is what's happening. This is called symmetry. It's starting to fall into place. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now that I see it, you know, I fell into place too. I think the neighbors are speaking out more because they want this to end. Yes, so do I, CB. Even though they're scared, threatened by certain individuals that they're talking more. Yeah. Oh, you can definitely sense that. If you say something and then your name gets put out there, I will remember you type shit. For a 15-year-old, come on. Come on. I really think Katie would have taken Sebastian out through the garage. I don't believe she would have taken a chance outside. Okay. But we got those two lights outside moving around in the dark, and we got a car's headlights turning on and one light going back to the house from the direction in which the light appeared. Past the house, around that ravine, that water ravine, that points directly to Sebastian's home. Who could that have been? Even though we could not have seen them in the video. They certainly picked the ideal conditions for those actions to have occurred the way they did. I mean, damn. I'm talking the way the road lays out. The car turned in and went up Killen, turned around and came back to stay. Yeah. Yes, Tori. Oh, I got that. And once again, you and I both agree that car was there that night. See, we can both agree on that. I'm wondering which turn did it make after it left that road on Killen, left or right, because you can only make a left or right turn once you get to the very end of it. Which direction did it go in then? And how many homes on that strip that may have had cameras, external and doorbell cameras that were on that night that may have caught that car en route going somewhere? You see how much work that is to go from house to house to home, follow the cameras, follow the homes, follow the area. You get to the school, which is not too far away. or that, excuse me, that apartment complex that's under construction. What homes off of that road could have captured that car? There's a lot to go through. Plus, since the FBI is involved, maybe the neighbors feel safe to say something. I hope so. I hope so. When I first saw the Titch footage, I took screenshots. I see something I sent to police. They ignored me. Oh, boy. Well, now you can send those same photos and make contact with the FBI. Send it to them. See, that's a new doorway that folks can get to. If you're not getting any progress made through the sheriff's department, send it to the FBI. Send it to TBI. But since the FBI opened up the door for the reward, send it to them. Hit their tip line. Call me back. I want to send you something. I live in the neighborhood. I want to remain anonymous. But my email address is, here's the file attachment. That's all. This car light sitting on Kellen was a signal to come to the car. You know something, Tori? I was thinking just that. Ready to go. Ready to go. And that car backed up and backed out. Ready to go. All right, folks, I'm closing a 3-hour window here. I'm sorry I didn't get to every single one of your comments, but it only tells me how focused you guys are in on this case. I thank you for joining me here tonight, for me to share my thoughts, and for me to present some content that may have given a little bit more clarity. It certainly did me. It certainly did me. But this was a part of it I wanted to get off the table. And you guys helped me to make that happen here tonight. So once again, I'm going over to Brittany's channel, Allegedly, with Brittany J. And you don't mind, giving her a shout out, tell her I sent you, show her some love. And she holds a great, unbelievable chat, that's for sure. Very respectable. From time to time, she does have a couple of knuckleheads that show up in there, but her mods take very good care of her and the channel. So tell her I sent you. Much love to everyone. I will be back. There are a couple of things I also want to share I didn't get to tonight that go along as a continuation from what we talked about here tonight. Really, I think things are going to turn around or begin to turn. I feel that. I hope there are some new developments this week. We'll see. Over the weekend into next week, we're going into September. The school year has already started for a lot of, young kids. Before it gets too busy. I hope so. I hope so. So with that said, wow, you guys are incredible. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the smiles. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. As I always say, God bless, be blessed, and stay blessed with Godspeed. Until then, I'll see you on the next live.